Alright, hey guys, here we are, back for another Golf Clash guide here. It's going to be for hole number 1. It's going to be a more advanced bag. If you are looking for a little bit more basic, do check out my other set of guides. One of the things you'll have to worry about is maybe landing a little bit too long. So a couple different ways to go about this. I can either go with Berserker, maybe take off a little bit of power. You got to keep in mind that you will be moving up to lower ground as well, so it might try to land just a tiny bit short, so I wouldn't take off too much. I'm going to play, there's 5 rings, I'm going to at least go 10 here. So there's 10, 11 rings. I'm going to just gracefully come off the power for now. Pay attention to your needle because you may not even need to do this. You may not need to take off like I just did. Yep, but note that one landed just a little bit long, so we'll take off a little bit more. It's okay if you make, a mistake or two. This is only Monday. You want to really pay attention and focus on these needles that you have, because what I just did may be perfect for someone else. You really want to pay attention and see how much this is actually pointing downwind. So the more that you can learn about that, the better. Now that I know that amount of power is no good if the wind is pointed that much tail, I'll be a little bit more careful in the pass. However, if it's more of an exact side wind, which is very close to what I feel like I had the very first time I played this, it was a little bit more side than it was here. It almost looks like my opponent has more of a side wind. So it's almost like, he could have probably used my power very, very close to it. So do keep that in mind. You can see how short that landed. So well short of where I did. So as I mentioned, do just pay attention to these close changes. And it appears to me, I feel, I almost have the same wind angle as they gave me last time. So it is definitely pointed down again. But the wind's also smaller. So you'll need to think about that as well. So I'm going to back off just a little bit because I do feel that I still have a very large tailwind scenario. So there's 5 rings. I'm going to go about 9 this time. So somewhere right in here. We are going to just gracefully come in off the power just a little bit more. So I'm thinking somewhere to the effect of here. So it looks good. And you can see it's well short, but I also caught the fairway on the second hop. So you want to try to get it to clip the rough there. So that's going to be the perfect shot. If it would have, you see it just cleared that. But look how short it landed on that fairway. It wasn't even close to the top that time. So that just goes to show you that, there's going to be very large amount of difference depending upon wind angle, a 10 wind being versus a 12 or 11.5, really changes things up. If that wind was in the 9s, I might have been able to use more power than even that. But ideally, we want that second bounce to clip that rough. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So you'll want to focus on that. And I will show you guys a shot from back here as well that you guys can see. Because this could be a very common spot. I do recommend going for it. So what I'll typically do from back here is maybe just outside the hole. There's going to be some wind effect here. 11 wind. It is going to push the ball. Make sure that you're very centered with where you have your hand. A bit early on the timing. Early is definitely going to slide it to the rough. It's basically like when you great bought to the right like that on like a wind. I basically adjusted like 1 ring. That it's basically like going straight at the hole and then the wind affects it. So it's definitely going to push right in that case. But it doesn't matter. I'm not really trying to make it. I'm not trying to qualify. So I was forfeiting either way, make or miss. So, today's about practice. I did already get 2, but I'll put together another guide for you guys. We'll have a different wind and just try to get a different look at that. So, good luck with that hole, guys. Keep those tips in mind. And I can't stress enough, just paying attention to those close, subtle differences in wind angle and wind magnitude. You can see that second shot was very different from where it landed from the other one. So keep that in mind. And that first bounce, there's also a thing where One where it will bounce high. You can see that's kind of what mine did. It bounced high, but then there's going to be another one that bounces low. And the one that bounces out low is not even going to make it to the bunker in the air. If you land short like that, it will land short of the bunker and trickle into it. The front bunker I'm talking about. So really need to be able to play two different bounces there. Very tricky shot. It's going to be very touchy-go. You're just going to have to get as many attempts as you can. So good luck there. I'll see you guys on the next one.